You're watching Jaxblade's Month of Halloween. Let's get some shit out of some psychopaths.
Groovy.
You know, I freaking called they were going to do this. I freaking called it, but you know what? I digress. Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood Jaxblade is back, and I am here to just discuss my thoughts of the new Halloween movie. If you didn't see, I did a video on like how Michael Myers is so strong from the original films, and I said that I'd probably do a video talking about this one, so be sure to check that one out after, before this, whatever you prefer. And I'm just gonna talk about the new Halloween movie because I got a few words for it, and honestly, I'm a bit surprised in some aspects, but also like a little bit pleasantly surprised in some places too. So you know what, let's just get to talking about it. Okay, so I already talked about the whole thing of like going from them cutting out the Halloween like mythos, what they did, because it's now this choose your own story or whatever adventure. And honestly, while watching the film, I still just don't like the fact that him and Laurie aren't related anymore. Like with this storyline, I don't like it. I like that little aspect that, oh, I need to get my sister and I'm gonna take him down. And that was from the originals, that was from the remakes, that was just real thing. I just like that little storyline. I know John Carpenter hated it, but I personally like that. So I love that whole little thing because it added something to it. Like there's so many different other, you know, slasher villains. It's like, I'm gonna get that one. I'm gonna get that one who escaped. But like this was just like, it felt more personal to me. So I honestly did really enjoy that little aspect of that. And so seeing that taken away did sort of make it away. But one thing I did really like about this film, I loved how Jamie Lee Curtis acted. She acted phenomenally through the whole thing. The way she had like post-traumatic stress disorder about how everything happened to her and she just didn't get over it. And it was just like, oh my God, I feel genuinely upset and sad for this woman that she had to go through this. And it's different from like her portrayal in H2O. And it was just interesting way about going about it. So I really did like that a lot. And then let's talk about my boy, just because I gotta talk about my boy. Michael, you still got those gains on you. I still see you with those gains, boy. All right, because like, all right, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, but if you couldn't tell in the trailer, like they walk up to Michael and he is like swole. He's not like super swole like we know, but he's like, if you've ever seen Don't Breathe with Stephen Lang, he sort of has that sort of like menacing thing about him where he's just like standing there like minding his own business, just like you know, just like doing this thing. But you could tell like he's like, this is a dude you don't want to F with. And I'm pretty sure the dude doing it is like 6'2", something like that. But like, yeah, it was one of those things for a second. I was like, did they get Tyler Mane back for this? And also I did like the fact they showed that, oh, he's aged, because like Michael's like bald in the back now and he's just sitting there minding his business. He also has something wrong with his eye still, because you remember in the first movie he got effed up, even though his eye was like, no, his eye was like, you know, droopy, not like Jason level of droopy, but it was still droopy. And I just like that whole aspect of him just being this quiet, contained rage thing. And then it sort of went along with my video where I was just like, okay, that boy been hitting the isometric, doing all that stuff. But I was doing little headcanons when I saw that, so that was amusing to me. So I did like that a lot. And honestly, the newer characters, besides, you know, the Laurie family, it was sort of one of those things where at first I was like, God, Laurie, your daughter is a bitch, but then you understand like what she went through, and then you see like this certain thing happen to them, and you're like, oh damn, I could sort of empathize with that woman for all the stuff she had to go through since she was taken away from Laurie. And it was just, you know, sad stuff, but she's trained to prepare. And that was one of the lines I really loved, was the fact that Laurie said, if your mother hates me for training her to be prepared for a situation that may never come, then I'm glad she hates me. Because I think that is just absolutely brilliant. Like there's so many people these days, and I'm sorry, a bit soft with like how they raise people, like, oh, everyone's got to have participation trophy, oh, everyone doesn't want to train this hard to do this because it's not going to be beneficial in the long run. But like, no, there's certain times where I'm like, yes, I know you're going to hate me for doing this, but you need to learn this so you can protect yourself in the future, all right? You can hate me all you want for these 2 to 3 years, but then you will be able to defend yourself. I'm sorry, and I will always love you through the whole thing. So I honestly love that aspect of like, okay, I'll give you a good childhood, but I'll train you. So that to me, I honest to God loved. But besides that, the movie in some parts was a bit generic. Okay, for instance, Michael, so let me go back to the thing in the beginning. Remember what I said in that video? I showed the clip. I'll show it again.
The way you're going to handle this is that he's not a supernatural human being in the sense of he can't be killed. And that's what happens to any good horror franchise that goes too long. Eventually, the character becomes, like, immortal.
Yeah.
And, mythical. And it's like it was based on a real person. Now it's just that's a monster, a figment of your imagination. But you said there's something scarier about you taking out the garbage and noticing someone standing in the shadow staring at you than this monster will take forever to kill chasing you down the street.
100%. I mean, it's like I feel like for horror to work on me, I have to be able to picture myself in the situation.
Michael Myers is not supposed to be superhuman in this movie. He's just supposed to be a regular guy, strong guy, no doubt, but he's supposed to be doing like stuff like you could take him down, like you could kill him with a gun and stuff like that. And I mentioned how I think that sort of takes away the intimidation factor because of like there's this guy who I notice, he can bleed. I have a very Arnold mentality of like if it bleeds we can kill it. So that means all right, he can be taken down. Now, of course, he does. There are certain ways you go, he just sneaks up on people. He just comes into people's homes, which I feel incredibly sad for. Like, there's some moments in this movie I honestly do feel generally bad for people. Like, there are some people I'm like, your ass deserved that, like, seriously. But there are a couple of people I'm like, aw, that's a sad shame right there. And, but no, they show that boy is still strong as fuck. Okay, like, I won't spoil any of the deaths, but there are certain things where I'm just like, okay, do you know how much force it takes to do what you just did right there? Do you know how much strength it takes to, like, do that in one blow or do this to someone? Now, some of the times when you see the kills on screen, it's, like, very much, a thing of, okay, yeah, this is like a hitman taking someone out, and it's just like, it's very brutal, but it's like, it's believable, like, oh shit, this could happen. But there are some things where I'm just like, okay, you've been getting into that demigod juice, you got the Curse of Thorn activated on you, Also, I gotta bring this up. They mention, if you're a fan of the Halloween series, and I mean all the Halloween series, there's so many little Easter eggs to look for in this movie. There's so many little Easter eggs to look for, like, oh god, that's from this one right here. Oh, that's from part 6. That's part H2O. They were mentioning like little things like that. I thought that was a really nice like little thing that you noticed throughout the movie, and I thought that was incredibly great. But like the thing with Michael's strength, I was just like, okay, boy doesn't do weightlifting like that. The boy isn't like, doing bar star calisthenics. So I'll probably doing my thing in that video I mentioned, so be sure to check that out. That's probably why he's so strong, like I said before. But it was just one of those things I was like, okay, well, I guess you couldn't really go that way about it. And there's some people, what irritate me is there's some things about, okay, yeah, let me go along with the superhuman aspect of it. Since Michael is just supposed to be a regular guy, there are certain scenes where I'm like, okay, he should be dead here, but for, plot, we gotta have a sequel, then they gotta do this thing of like, oh, we're too stupid to realize the shot. Because like, I had this whole thing of like, yes, end him right then and there. Like I counted so many times that they could have finished him off in this movie. That was just like boom, boom, boom. Like I do this in horror movies. Like, because what I do when I watch a horror movie, if you've been following my Month of Halloween series, is I always analyze little like chinks in the armor just to see like, all right, what is like the way to defeat him? What is the way that we can take him down? Or what is the way to take this creature down? What is the way to keep us safe if it's like physically invulnerable or something like that? What can we do to keep ourselves safe? So I'm always looking for those things. And I noticed like 3 solid times they could have finished him off like nothing but like, oh, we gotta be stupid and let this thing go for a sequel. And I didn't like that. I honestly didn't like that at all. There were just so many scenes where I'm just counting like, dude, finish him. He's a human, right? That should finish him off. We're like, do this, do that. And I did not care for that part. I did not care for those parts, but I see why. So that's when I mentioned it's a bit generic in that sense. Like compared to other horror movies, I do like it. Like, I'm not, make no mistake, I do really enjoy this movie. It is really but there are certain scenes that play out like I'm just going, okay, I kind of called this was gonna happen. There are 2 things that happen in the middle where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, because that's sort of something you should come back to. Like, there's a big thing in particular that I'm like, yeah, you should definitely come back to that. You can't just end with what they did right there. And this whole thing of him just Michael going through the thing of, oh, I'm going to go hunt down the one who got away, or go to there for some reason and escape. I don't know. There's a part of me that was just like, I would feel better if this was your sister. If this was your sister and you were trying to hunt her down, I will completely understand why you're going this route, because like the other movies or something like that. But I will say they made Michael an intimidating force of nature. Some of the comedy in it works. I guess I came from Danny McBride, because there are certain scenes where I was just like, oh, I feel so bad for this person, but this is sort of funny, and I felt bad about laughing because there were scenes where I was like, oh no, that poor person, and then it's just like, oh, but there are some people I generally did want them to just get, effed up. I was like, all right, Mike, take this fool out, and it was good in that sense. I like that, and I liked how Mike actually was like, oh, I'm gonna go get my old jumpsuit and mask and stuff like that. So that was interesting. What else? Laurie's granddaughter didn't really do much. She was just sort of there to be a version of him, like a version of Laurie that I guess we follow, but she just runs away and screams a lot, and Laurie is pretty much Michael versus Laurie show at the end, which I did like a lot, because I love the hunters become the hunted mentality. Laurie's granddaughter's dad was annoying, so that was something. Cops, here's, like, if I can mention this, because this is in the trailer. There's this scene where, like, Michael, does some stuff to cops, and I'm just like, I don't buy that if you're trying to make this as him just being fully human, because to me, I'm just like, all right, you had a clear boom headshot moment right there and you didn't take it, and there's some certain scenes where I'm just like, yeah, that is some BS. But the whole ending, I love the whole fight scene, but I guess my one complaint would be really that I prefer the ending to Halloween H2O. So Halloween Water, as Sammy from Double Toasted calls it. It's pretty funny. Sorry. But I honestly prefer that ending, because if you watch H2O and ignore Resurrection, pretend Resurrection, like Resurrection just was made because they wanted more money, they were greedy. But H2O can be the definitive end of the series. Like, honest to God, it can be the definitive end of the series. Like, you're just like, oh God, I'm pretending to be... So I won't spoil it for anyone else who hasn't seen H2O, because I really want you guys to go check out the Halloween franchise. But it is one of those movies where it ends, you're like, okay, this could be the definitive ending. I'm happy with this ending. It's a satisfying ending whatsoever. This one, the ending, while it was a bit satisfying, is sort of just like, okay, you're doing the whole sequelitis thing that I see it's coming from a mile away. So I didn't know how to feel about that personally. But for overall... if I was going to give this a spill/double toasted rating like I usually do, because I've been following those guys since 2007, I give it a matinee. Definitely a matinee film. It'd be fun to see in the theaters. Highly recommend it. Actually, can I just rant for a second? I will say, while I enjoyed the movie, I did not enjoy my theater experience, because I went to go see this movie, and I do not understand what the fuck it is with people just not to shut the fuck up. Like, god damn. I went to this movie, right? I go sit down. There's this black dude sitting next to me. I'm just like, okay, mind my business. Just watch the movie. But every time he talked, he narrated to himself and talking like, oh man, this shit gonna be raw. Oh, what's he doing in the background? What's he doing in the back? Ah, shit, man. And it was just like going on and on, talking to himself like, oh, I bet this is gonna happen. I bet this is gonna happen. And then it happens and he goes, I called it. Called that shit was gonna happen, bro. And he would pat himself on the back, and it was so fucking frustrating. Like, I was getting heated, and I was just like, there was a part where I'm moving, and I was like, hey, bro, can you chill with that shit, please? I'm just trying to watch the movie. He's like, oh, okay, dog. Like, literally 5 minutes, he shuts up. Then, like, later on, he goes, oh shit, oh, that bitch go again. Oh, that bitch go again. He was laughing at scenes that aren't intended to be funny. Like, there's this one dramatic scene, and I was like, oh, that's actually genuinely feels like. And it's just like, what the fuck, nigga? Shut the fuck up. God damn, dog. Like, shit. And I hated that shit. I fucking hated it. I was like so close to swinging on this fool. And it's just, oh my God. It was just annoying. But then you realize, oh, it ruined the shit for the theater. And then like the teen people outside, they never do anything. Like, I've done that. Like, there's sometimes it's just like they don't want to come in and get involved. They don't get paid enough for it. And it was just frustrating as fuck. I hated that dude. I fucking hated that. And I was sitting there like Michael Myers, just like isometric, just angry. But fool, oh my God. So maybe you see it, just get some, bring some friends with you that are around you so that you don't just go, or if you do see it by yourself, get an extra seat. You know, just saying there's a seat that's empty next to you, because I can't deal with fools like that. I fucking hate it. Like, I remember when I saw like some other movies, this happened a lot, where you just go into a theater and niggas just think the theater can you just, yo, I could talk like I'm at my own home TV station. Just shut the fuck up, dog. Shit. Fuck. Damn, I'm sorry I'm getting heated over this, but that shit really did tick me off. I was just trying to enjoy watching a horror movie, and this dude, it's the first night. I guess I wouldn't mind if it was the second night, but I literally had never seen this movie, and just, oh, fucking damn, dog. Alright, so it's just, I'm sorry, I had to just vent. I highly recommend seeing this movie. Go check it out. Go see it with friends. Go see it at a midnight show. Don't sit next to people if you're want to just watch the movie and enjoy it, because like there are certain, it's just annoying. Anyways, keep calm. Booyah on. And don't forget, Momentai. Still waiting for that Dragon Slayer to get here. But yeah, that's going to be fun. And tell me what you thought of the movie down in the comment section below, because I'm genuinely curious. Alright? Peace!